Hey YouTube, it's Ergo. So perhaps it was because about 4 years ago when I was on a previous vacation I started watching this, or perhaps it was because I visited the military site Pearl Harbor, but to and from the plane to Hawaii and all day today I took the time and I finally finished watching the series Battlestar Galactica. If you haven't seen the show before or even heard of it, you don't know what you're missing out on. If you have seen it and sort of gave up on it a little, and you're in the same boat as me, but really if you get past the long setup, it's really a great show and story, and it's acted out wonderfully. Okay, so if you haven't heard of it before, Battlestar Galactica is basically the story of an end-of-days scenario where the human race is nearly obliterated by an artificial intelligence that it created called the Cylons. And they basically, the humans at this time have migrated to these 12 planets called the colonies, and since the Cylons destroy all of those planets, they go about sailing the universe trying to find this 13th colony called Earth. Now, even as they go about sailing the stars, and even though there was only a very small number of these humans that actually escaped, about 50,000 I think, the Cylons still also want to hunt them continuously throughout this, and apparently they're seeking Earth as well for some reason. The show uses a lot of mythology and religion, or rather spiritual references, as after all the colonists themselves are basically following the Greek gods. It tracks the story of families, personal and interpersonal relationships, how finding out one thing can completely alter your perspective on everything, and much, much more. I could go on, but basically they pretty accurately drew out what I think would be a very likely, or possible at least, scenario of what would happen if this ever did come to pass. Or as they say in the show, all of this happened before, all of this will happen again. Unlike some shows, I really like how they ended this one, and up until the very end, I had no idea what they were going to do. Even a couple episodes back, I was trying to figure out what their plan was and how they were going to wrap things up, and I came up with nothing. That there is truly the mark of a good show, I think. At least when the ending fits, that is. I still have the final movie to watch, so I'm not completely done with the show, and then there's a spin-off Caprica as well. But up to this point, you know, now that this story is over, I'm very happy with what they did. And if you haven't seen it before, I really highly recommend it to you as well. If you have seen it before, what are your thoughts on it? And if you haven't, have I convinced you yet to give it a go? Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching, commenting, subscribing, liking, and I'll see you guys all again tomorrow. Have a great day.